Hello, Chiori-chan here again with another tutorial on how to use Chiori-chan's web server. Today I'm going to be going over the templates plugin, which is a very simple to use plugin that allows you to wrap page content in common templates. The template plugin has about 2 views. It has the ability to have a template as well as individual little view wraps. We'll go into a little more detail about that later, but let's go ahead and get started here. So first off, to get started, you're going to want to make sure that you go back and watch any my videos on annotations, as well as how to install plugins, as well as starting the server. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start out of the default web root folder here. And I'm also going to bring you the prompt over here, and we're going to go ahead and start the server. Now after you have the plugin installed, you'll notice in the load right here that the templates plugin is loaded. Now something I'm going to start out with, we're going to start out with just a basic layering of HTML files so I can demonstrate how to properly make it work, and then we might go into a much more advanced example later. So for starters, I'm going to open up my Sublime Text editor. This is something we'll be using later. We're going to go ahead and create a new file. In this file's example, I'm going to go ahead and type in just a little bit of code. So let's put an example here. We'll just say hello world. Okay. We're going to save that as our index file. And then I will drag the... Okay, so as you can see here, this is our basic HTML example file I just made. And if we go over here and switch to the source view, you can just see the paragraph tags. So, if you go back and watch the annotation video, as you can see, what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to start using some annotations that I don't believe I brought up in that last video, but are exclusive to this plugin. So as I just said before, we'll start with the @ sign, type in theme. So like I said, this annotation tag is exclusive to the templates plugin. And you follow it up with a namespace. Now, the way a namespace works, this is a feature built into the server. One of the things that the server can do through, for example, Groovy programming language or HTML comment includes, which I might go into that later as well, is the ability to include the namespaces. This is all built into the server. This is not exclusive to the templates plugin. But the way this works, you'll notice here, is we have a folder called resource. So we're going to go ahead and create a folder under here called com Chiori-chan, as in you can see in the namespace, and themes. Now, you are free to basically use any namespace you wish. If you want to use, io.github or, com.google, you're welcome to do any type of thing you want. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't even give you any trouble just creating a simple folder called themes and then just type in themes.whatever. And default right here is just the name of the themes file. So we're going to go ahead and save this as the themes file. Now, also one thing to note about namespaces is that these files can end in basically anything. You don't have to actually define them in your namespace. So, for example, here this is default.html. It could be .gsp, JSP, Groovy, any suffix that the server recognizes. For example, I also demonstrate how you can just type in the beginning of a file name in my image manipulation tutorial. It will find the file automatically based on a convention of suffixes. So I'm going to go ahead and over here, I'm going to type in a div container. And then we'll reload the page over here. Now what you'll notice is that now that I have placed the theme annotation, this has activated the templates plugin. Something that's kind of handy about the templates plugin is the ability that it's not always active. It's only active when you first use one of its annotations. Now you can actually go into the configuration file for the templates and turn on the ability for it to always render an output, but by default it'll only render when you actually use annotations associated with the plugin. So you'll see here that when it renders the output, it automatically creates the HTML tags, the head tags, it creates a default title, and then it wraps the content inside the page. And you'll see here that there's not very much difference in the rendered view. We just got a title now. So you might be asking, well, how do I now write the theme so that this page data is actually wrapped? Well, to do that, we're going to be using what's called the HTML comment tag. In this case, this is page data. Again, this is something you can go into the templates plugin and actually configure. Once you type that comment here inside of your themes file, you will notice that now this paragraph will be inserted right between the div tab, the div tag. Now I'm going to also go ahead and demonstrate the views. To do a views is just like the themes. So we're going to go ahead and create another one called views and default HTML. I'm going to go ahead and, just for the making this simple, we'll go ahead and copy this. And then up here, we're going to do @view. Now, as I said earlier, what this does is it actually wraps a second container around the theme. So now that I have a view and I refresh, you'll notice that there's now a double div. Div, paragraph. And you can see here's the first one, here's the second one. And lastly, what I will go over here real quick is the next thing that you might be wondering is, how do I insert particular includes in the head of my document? Well, again, this is actually very easy to accomplish. One way to accomplish this is to create a separate for. Again, like I was saying with the namespaces, this can be anywhere. I mean, this view could be a theme too, but this is just my way of liking to do it. So we'll go ahead and create a file here, and we're going to call it header.html. And for this file, I'm just going to create a basic, let's see, I'm not really too sure what I should create. Here, let's just borrow something from, so let's say you want to put, or here, we'll put a couple in here. Alright, so let's just say you want to put these meta tags into the header of your document. And as you can see, I create an HTML document that contains the tags I want to include. So to insert these tags, all I have to do is use another annotation. For this annotation, it's just simply header. And what will happen when I go to refresh is now those heads, what's included in that file is now included in the head. Now I'm going to show something else that the server does with headers, and that is a conventions. The server has a namespace conventions ability. If we go in here, you'll see I just erased the header. It's going to disappear. If I go back over here, we're going to rename this file now. We're going to rename it to common.html. Something you'll see when I go to refresh is that those headers now just came back. The reason this is because the server has a conventions where it says it goes off of the theme. It says, well, the page is requesting the theme Chiori-chan themes.default. Let me try to find the conventions for the header. By default, it checks two separate different conventions for headers. Number one is going to be going back one level, and then going to includes. As you can see, I made this folder includes, so as long as the folder's includes, it will check. And the subfile common.html, again with any type of suffix you wish. This common will be included in all themes, so no matter the name of the theme, common will always be checked. Or your other option is to also rename your header to the same name as the themes. So the conventions will go one back, includes, and then take the name of the theme, the default, and then append that. So as you'll see here, well, I guess that one is actually not working. I apologize for that. It seems like that was actually a bug that I reintroduced. Oh, jeez. Anyways, that is something it will do. I will have to take a quick look and see what's stopping that to happen. But yes, that is another convention, is it will go back and double check under the same name. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just end this tutorial right here, because I'm at over 11 minutes, and I will come back with part 2 of how to use the templates plugin.